We're living today in a wired world, and with websites and Facebook and tweeting and Skyping and all these things, everyone's presenting themselves, explaining themselves, defending themselves. This has been described as the great age of apologetics. And if ever we needed Christians who are clear about their faith and effective in their communication, it's today.
There are many unanswered questions, and at times they feel almost overwhelming. And that can make us, as Christians, then scared to ask questions ourselves. And so what we often tend to do is we take the questions we don't ask and we bury them. The trouble is when we do that, they tend to dig down underneath us and undermine the ground we're standing on. And eventually, if you have enough unanswered questions buried in your field, it will eventually collapse. And so what we need to do is we need not to be afraid of these questions. Instead of trying to bury them or pretend they're not there, we should actually bring them up into the limelight and say, well, if this is the question, if this is the issue, then what's behind that question? What's driving it? Why is it so complicated? Why is it so fearful? How can we understand it? And then how can we respond to it, both for ourselves and then also for other people?
1 Peter 3:15. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you for the reason for the hope within, and do this with gentleness and respect, keeping a clear conscience.
I'm convinced that with the training and the formation that they receive, our students will go on to do fantastic things for the kingdom of God. Each and every one of them.
We want to train people with the very best that we can possibly give them to help them understand themselves, their faith, the world around them, and then do so in a way that helps them relate that to a world around them that doesn't actually share any of those values necessarily, vision, and or their faith.
Ravi Zacharias has said that the OCCA may be the greatest legacy that RZIM will leave.
Do you feel called to grow and develop in evangelism and apologetics? If part of the answer to that is yes, that I do feel that, then hand on heart I could say there's no other place that you could come to develop in a full, rounded and holistic way that would equip you better than coming to spend a year at OCCA.